Hello everyone, how's it been? Odin Auckland here. It's been a while since I've done a painting stream. Let's see how it goes. I had to basically get everything re-prepped up and to clean out my wet palette and everything, but I kind of realized that not doing streams for these painting, it's been difficult to make time to sit down and paint these. So even if it's not the most thrilling content in the world or anything, I'm still want to get them done. So let's just try to see how far we can get with it. I'm gonna adjust my mic a little bit, so I don't want it in the camera. Don't know how well it's gonna pick up, but all right. Hello, Ayla. Hope things are going well. So last time we've been painting the horse's body. I'm not sure how crazy I am with this speckled look. I might be doing the technique wrong, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing it through the remaining horses, and once I'm done with all the other horse details and everything like that, if I still don't like it, I'll come back and, I don't know, maybe make it a smooth gray or something. I'm not quite sure. It's kind of not really giving off a mottled pattern. It's looking more Dalmatian-y than anything else. So, well, nice. Enjoy your salad. Okay, so let's get the paints we need. Move this off. Grab the next horse. And let's see. I'm gonna get some Dawn Stone, and we want to use some, thin it down a little bit, I guess. Let's do. Let's get some Dawn Stone on my brush, mix it with the medium, try to dilute it down some. Let's see, how much is this? Maybe a little bit more. Clean off my brush. Let's get some of this diluted gray. And let's just try stippling it on. Gonna kind of focus on the raised areas. I'll make sure I have enough on my brush. Don't think I'm super great at this stippling technique, honestly, but it's supposed to be kind of just giving a little bit of an erratic pattern while I'm doing it. Maybe I've just been a little too, I don't know, precise with it or something. Let's see. Yeah, let's see how we can get this going. Maybe just kind of focusing in this area. This is heavily watered down, so I don't know how this one will turn out compared to the others. But I'm just kind of experimenting right now and seeing. Just kind of being a little bit erratic, a little bit haphazard with it. It's really light on there too because it's so watered down, so it's hard to really see the differences and see how effective I'm being, honestly. But maybe I'll like this look better. We'll see. Grab some more of this paint. Water it down a little bit. Okay, continue stippling it on. So this stippling, I'm just kind of dabbing it really. I'm not even trying to brush it on there. This is really watered down. Maybe I should have taken a little bit off my brush. It's been a little bit, so I'm kind of out of practice as well. Wherever I last stood with these techniques, I'm not quite certain at this point. Alright, let's get that in focus for y'all. All right, and then we'll take a little bit of the Administratum Gray and do the same thing. Okay, let's see. So I diluted some of the administratum gray, so let's see if we can stipple this onto the legs and add a little bit of complexity to the pattern. Again, it's going to be kind of watery, so it's a little bit difficult to see against everything. Just kind of try to focus again on the raised areas. Trying to kind of looking to try to get a modeled fur pattern. I'm definitely coming through more subtle than the last, which I kind of like. And I don't think I hit this back leg up with the other color. Let's see if I can do some of that right now. I don't want it too watered down. Can I get this in focus? That back leg is what I want to hit. Just stippling it along. Okay. Let's go back to the lighter gray that we're working with now. Load up my brush again and continue the stippling little light patches here and there. I think this is closer to the texture that I probably should have been trying initially on those first handful of these horses. Don't want this excess water droplet to fall down on it. Very kind of subtle in between them. Like I said, these miniatures are so small, this doesn't really have to be perfect or anything. It's, people aren't really going to be seeing them on the tabletop, and I'm not like entering into competitions or anything. Stipple more. You're working on this front leg, so let me try to get it in focus for you. It's really hard to see it going down, so you're gonna have to trust it a little bit, but let's see. Onto this little belly area. Maybe this back. Alright. I kind of neglected the face too, so let me try to grab that darker one out of here. That's too strong still. Trying to find the balance. Alright. Okay, there. Yeah, salads can be. Okay. Stipple darker on here, on his ears. Alright, let's see. Can we hit this face with little patches of light? Maybe these upper ears. Okay. Alright, and let's try the lightest color that we put on here, which would be Ulthuan Gray. See how thin this is. It's hard to see. I can't really see this light color on my palette super easily. But I think this is an okay consistency. Let's just try. Maybe this isn't diluted enough. I don't know. Let's keep on stippling. Just a little haphazardly. Not on the armor, please. Alright. A clean brush to wipe that off. A little more stipple effect. Maybe over here. Legs unfocused. I'll make sure to get all these legs back here and everywhere. And we'll hit this back side. Okay. Yep. Go on with this, trying to keep it erratic. It's a little bit smudged up in certain places. But hopefully the effect will come together. But like I said, if I'm not completely happy with it, I can just paint over it later. Right now, it's just trying to make progress and not letting myself get stuck over analyzing things and talking myself out of things. Little touches of lightness. Let's put this in focus. Come on. Up here. Okay. Yeah, not bad. Let's move on to the next then. Some more dawn stone. Get that on the palette. I wonder if I have a brush that would be better suited to doing this. I don't think this one's doing super great. Maybe this tiny one. That's a little bit of water. Water it down. All right. Dipple again. Focusing on the raised areas. Okay. All right. Mixing. Keep on going with this. I don't know if that's too watery. Get some of the excess moisture off. Gonna clean it up again. Okay. This back side. Hello, puppy. You finished your treat? All right. Let's start hitting this again. More stippling. I have it on my. It's a little bit too watered down, maybe. Finding the right consistency has been a little bit of a challenge here. It's also hard because I think this undercoat is like a mix of the grays, so it's hard to see it against itself. Puppy. Okay, girl. Okay. Rain. Rain. Okay, I think this is some more of this lighter stuff. Puppy. It's okay. It's okay, girl. Oops. Okay. Getting the lighter highlight stipple in here. But I need more of that color, so it's the Administratum Gray, I believe. Let's get this back and forth. Thanks, Ayla. I'm still unsure how I feel about the horse bodies. They're kind of meh to me, but like I said, I'll fix them later if I feel I still need to at the end of everything. Get some water, moisture. Gotta water down this paint. Yeah, sometimes it's better to just move ahead with something instead of like thinking about it for too long and then changing it later if you need to. Oh my god, that's too much. Clean off some of that, although it's probably fine. Okay, get this. Okay. Or, you know, I'll just accept just being bad at everything and be done with it. Okay, let's get this underside. And let's focus on the back. Okay, I think this texture is okay on here. I'm going with this. Unless I can get his face in focus and add a little bit to his muzzle, his ears. Okay. Now let's try to do a similar thing with the highest highlights. See if I can get enough balance between being watered down and the paint itself. Let's see. Get this in focus again. Really touching on these raised parts. Get the modeled. Okay. On the underside. Being very careful not to like drag my brush. I'm just like doing the stippling, stabbing motion on like the higher edges. Because I don't want to like, you know, paint. I'm trying to add this texture to it. Alright, get back in focus. Hello, Poppy, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Oh, my music stuttering? What's going on, computer? Might have to take a look at that in a second. Let's see though. Oh my goodness, puppy. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Do you hear another dog outside? Is that what's going on? Nah, okay, let me address the pup in the room. Hello. Okay, puppy. Are you okay? Are you okay now? Everything fine? Okay, sorry about that. Got a noisy pup and then my audio is being funky, but I should be okay now. And yeah, yay for non-binary. Yeah, I'm definitely I don't know why all of gender identity stuff is such a big problem for so many people out there. Like I have no problem with, like, I don't know. It's confusing to me, but like I like people being comfortable in who they are and who they want to be, and I have no problem people expressing themselves how they want to be. And you know, if I'm friends with someone, it's because I like them as a person. I don't really care what they identify as or what they've had to go through or anything like that. So I'm glad when people are just, I want to be myself to let people be safe and comfortable around me and everything as well. So I'm glad, like the few times I've gotten to collab with you, Ayla, it's been nice, and I'm glad you feel comfortable around all of us and everything, and you know, you don't have to hide yourself from at least this part of the internet or the world, you know. Okay, did I hit all the higher parts on this one? I think I did. I think I can move to the next one. All right. Yep, Ayla is indeed a good bean. Ayla's actually, I've kind of met a few different people through Ayla, just kind of being in the chat, and you know, I think a lot of us roll into some of the same smaller streamers and everything like that. So it's kind of, it feels like a lot of people, at least that we're all commonly associated with, are kind of fun, decent, similarly minded people, you know. It's kind of a nice little community going so far. Yeah, Hila definitely has a very extroverted, magnetic personality that draws in a lot of different people. Come on. I mean, there's so much like places online and in the world in general where it's just like there's a lot of things to get upset about and a lot of negativity and rage bait and stuff, and you know, a lot of it is like valid. There's things to be angry about and everything, but it is nice to just have places to go that you can escape from it. Like, it's actually probably vital for your mental well-being at this point, you know? And there's some people out there who, I mean, like, not talking about the people who like instigate, but there's some people out there who can't seem to help themselves, and like they're constantly like doom scrolling or anything along those lines. It's like they're putting themselves in situations where like you're choosing to like make yourself upset. You kind of know going into it that you're going to come out of it upset, and like especially the more like chronically online ones can really get like that. It's like you get in a space where it's like everything is either drama or everything is like end of the world type of stuff, and even if it's completely valid concerns, it gets to a point where it's like, if you're consuming that all the time, it takes such a toll on you every day. And it's like, yeah, at some point, it's weird because like, yeah, there are valid things wrong with the world and things that should be fixed and things that you should care about. And people will call you out. They're like, oh, I can't, you know, it's a privilege to not care about politics and stuff like that. Which, yeah, I get it. Your life kind of depends on it and stuff. But at the same time, it's hurting you by staying in a toxic environment all the time mentally, whether you recognize it or not, you know? Good old REM. Especially if it's something you're powerless to do, like with politics in general, unless you're like running for like unless you're running for office or you're like a lifelong activist, it's like all you really can do is vote and, you know, maybe write to your representative or something like that every so often, but like everything else is really you just getting yourself angry, you know? And there's like at some point you're just like, yeah, you actually are kind of like powerless in this situation, and it sucks, but it's hard. You have to find a way, if you want to have a life that's kind of has some happiness in it, you have to find a way to kind of like find moments yourself that are your own personal happiness. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Getting out of bad relationships is exactly something like that. Because even, and the thing with relationships too is, especially, you can get in a relationship with someone and you can know them pretty deeply and you can see stuff in them that like people wouldn't see on the surface, and that can give you some sense of hope that like in these instances they're like a type of person I'd want to be with, or I see a potential of them to like get better. And if you're not careful, that could trick you and get you stuck into something toxic for a while. And it's hard to like get yourself in a good enough headspace and get brave enough to be like, even though I know you're not 100% bad, it's like where you are right now and where I am right now, we're not good together and we need to go our separate ways, you know? It actually takes a lot of self-awareness of what you want and what you are looking for to get to that point, you know? Yeah. No, I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. And it also doesn't help that, you know, there's a lot of confusing things. It's easy, like, based off of kind of how you're conditioned in the world and stuff. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people who confuse strong feelings, like, of infatuation with actual, like, feelings of love and stuff like that. But, and yeah, like you were saying, nothing could be perfect. And you're right, it's not, nothing will ever be perfect all the time. And there's some people who do believe that, like, oh, if I'm in a perfect relationship, my partner is always going to make me happy all the time, and if it's not, then something's wrong. And it's like, first off, that's a lot of pressure to put on your partner. That's ridiculous. But second of all, that's not how it works. You know? Yeah, it really is hard. What's funny too is that, like, did I get dark on this side? Yes, I did. It must have just been watered down. It's funny how, like, you can, there's like a very stereotypical type of like bad relationship, and like you have like abusiveness or manipulation, or you just have people who are selfish and stuff, and or even like the people who, it's not even like bad, but there's the people who like stereotypically will like leave or drop a relationship for like a very petty reason. But then on the flip side, you can kind of fall in the opposite extreme, which I've kind of done in the past, where it's like I've been the type that's so much focused on being like the good, understanding partner, where like, I'm willing to overlook shortcomings, and I'm willing to oh, come on, I don't want to get that. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can help them out, or even if like even if I know like things aren't right and this isn't like a great relationship or whatever, like there'd still be times where it's like, well, they don't have the support they need. I can't just drop them. Like, I need to make sure they're still taken care of, and they're gonna like not be on the streets if I just dump them outright or whatever. Like, there's a point where you can be too much of a caring person that it's still like bad for you, which is kind of insane to think about. Nobody ever warns you that you can care too much about someone else or whatever, but it as an adult you quickly discover that, yeah, like people can either intentionally or unintentionally take advantage of you for things like that, and you can be kind of foolish. Oh yeah, that's never great. Sorry to hear about that. And it's hard, like, yeah. Especially after you've gone through some rough situations. Like, the thought of starting something new, like, you never know going in, like, what the other person is actually wanting, or what kind of situation you're going to be dealing with. I don't think this is going through all right. don't know if this is coming through clear enough on here. Oh well, we'll just... Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like each person has their own tolerances and their own preferences and everything like that. And it's difficult too because like with streamers and chatters and stuff, there's a lot of people with different levels of... I don't know. There's people who have different... what's the word I'm looking for? I guess different levels of like social aptitude or awareness or whatever. And yeah, there's like, I don't know. You end up interacting with, depending on what kind of communities you fall in, there's a lot of chances to meet people who are being weird about anything, honestly, to be fair. But I totally get it. It's like lewdness and horniness is a whole weird depth of thing because there's a bunch of people who it's a mix of people with and without actual experience, people who are going off of memes, and people who are running off of just pure hormones or whatever they've got like going on that they might not even recognize what they're saying or whatever. It could definitely get awkward really fast, especially when people don't know what's good limits to just stop and stop being inappropriate, you know? Or what even is inappropriate. This one's not coming through as clear. I think I'm just gonna switch to the next color. Like me personally, like I can roll with anything basically. Like, I'm not... I don't know. I don't get uncomfortable easy, and I don't get weirded out or anything too often, but just from my, like, personal background and stuff, like, you know, I'm not religious myself, but I was raised... and like my mom was Roman Catholic, and kind of as is the stereotype about that, they're very much like hush hush, keep it to yourself about anything that's a little prudish or sexual or whatever. And then the people I befriended growing up and stuff, we weren't the type to really talk about that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of, you know, it's like I can put up with somebody's like chatting about it and I'm not bothered by it, and I'm not inexperienced in that kind of world, but it's not something I feel the need to like yammer on about or make a lot of innuendos or jokes or anything to. And definitely not, I don't know. Especially the fact that like there's people who can, if you're not careful, you're just gonna make people uncomfortable, or worse, you might, like, people who don't know when they're crossing the line, it gets really bad, you know? Yeah, that could definitely play in it, the ex-biker dude-ish extent. And to be honest, like, when it comes to like arrow ace stuff, it's interesting to me because I know it, I don't know how the community as a whole would feel about it, but like compared to some other aspects, because like I want to kind of be careful with my words because I don't really want to say anything that's like misconstrued as offensive. It's not really, but like there's the whole, I think, you know, how you don't choose like your sexuality and everything like that, but when it comes to gender and kind of some of your, that aspect of it, there is a little bit of fluidity to it. There is some that's like you're born with and stuff, but especially like in my personal experience, like I've long struggled with depression, and anybody who's dealt with that, that can definitely like kill libido, that can kill like any interest in romance and stuff like that. Like it could basically completely shift you into a full arrow ace, you know, even if that's not like what you normally would be. So like I kind of know, I feel like I have a little more shared experience, you know, like from a couple different perspectives. It's like I haven't just been, you know, one guy or whatever, and like, and I know a variety of different types of people in my life from different settings. I know non-binary people, and I know gay people, and I know trans people, and like I'm friends with a variety of different people, and in general I'm not a judgy person. So I think, yeah, just kind of having that open experience is a good thing, as long as you kind of like are able to take it all into perspectives. But yeah, like a lot of the lewd tubers or whatever, lewd tubers, I guess is simplifying it, but like whenever lewd stuff comes up, it's like a lot of it does feel like just nothing more than just laughing at dirty jokes or whatever, which, I mean, to each their own, but it hasn't really done it for me for a long time. But and then I would tell you if that actually happened, but If given the opportunity, I definitely try to go to the space station. I'm a big fan of space in general. It would be a nice way to get away from everything. I'm pretty sure at some point in our lifetime, though, we're gonna have some sort of space faring thing that's gonna work out the same way that Titanic submarine worked out, you know? Just gonna have some rich guys trying to go up into space and something will happen. But well, yeah. That is true. Technically, I guess there has been a couple rockets that blew up over the course of all the years of the space missions and stuff. It was funny the other day I was just thinking about, like, I don't know, my normal default state is just kind of laid back and, you know, like when I'm on a stream, I'm not really going crazy or anything, and I'm not diving into the hot button topics or anything. And you know, like you kind of mentioned, is just generally wholesome or trying to be thoughtful or whatever. But I was thinking it would be funny to view it as I think it's the concepts existed in a couple different like series or animes or whatever, but I think the one I was kind of thinking of was might have been like Hellsing or something like that, but like the vampire Alucard has his powers kind of locked off by different restraint levels or whatever, and like then when he has to, sorry, it went off screen for a little bit. At certain points, like if he wants to, if somebody needs to like have him let loose, he has to get permission to have his like restraints released or whatever. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of that series. It's like one of my favorites. And I thought that would be kind of a funny way to think of like dealing with certain topics. It's like, oh, you want me to have hot takes? Well, then I'll have to, you know, you have to unlock level 2 restraints. You want me to start talking about, you know, sexual history? That'd be level 3. You want me to have like, you know, politic talk or something like that? Well, that's level 4 restraints. You'll have to like really do a lot to unlock that kind of level of unhingedness, you know? Okay, I want this darker, I think. It's pretty interesting. It's neat because, well, it's, the premise is that There's a group in Britain that is basically exists to hunt down vampires and I guess other paranormal stuff or whatever. And they actually have a vampire under their control as part of their group to do it. And then it kind of has a lot of back and forth because they're kind of associated with Britain and like the Protestants, but there's also like a group that's run by the Catholic Church that's kind of their enemies. They also like try to hunt down abominations, but they detest the Protestants and the fact that they use a vampire as well and stuff like that. So there's a lot of dynamics, and there's a really good abridged series with it too, but yeah. But then it also, you know, part of it, the main antagonist is like a former like Nazi, basically trying to bring Nazi vampire zombies and stuff, so it's a little wild. And this texture is going on weird again. I lost whatever groove I was in. But whatever. Yeah, there was many years ago. There's a scene in like maybe it was like the first or second episode where they're going to try to dispatch some vampires or whatever, and it's the first time the kind of rival Catholic version of the vampire hunter agency shows up, and it's this like kind of crazed essentially priest who I didn't want to mix those colors, who basically is like obsessed with fighting the the vampire, and with a bunch of like bayonet dagger things and stuff. And there was a point where many years ago I cosplayed as him back in the day. Yeah, this paint's not going on how I wanted it to. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like I'm kind of the same way, because like I do find myself erring a little more towards family friendly on streams and stuff. Not completely married to it, but yeah, I haven't done it in a long time, but yeah, I used to cosplay a little bit. Like right out of high school for like 2 years or whatever. We went to a couple cons, specifically like Anime Expo and stuff. But why is this being a pain in the butt? Yeah, Alucard would be fun. His outfit would be crazy to have. Like, by now it's kind of an old series, but like that one was definitely like had a big impact on me, and like Cowboy Bebop, to the point where like if I got like another tattoo, I would consider like getting characters from those two shows like tattooed on me and stuff. But wait, what's that? Let's go to Administratum. Yeah, I only have one tattoo right now. I got it like right before, it was like 2018 or so, I think. And I got it from someone who was pretty well recommended and well known. He had like a pretty long wait list, and I wanted to get some more, and then the pandemic hit, and then I kind of stopped. But right now it's actually just one tattoo, and it's nerdy. It's a Bulbasaur tattoo. But yeah, I thought about getting like a full sleeve done is like the idea with it. It would be expensive, but I'd want it like expensive to get it done properly, but I'd want to get it done properly, honestly. But yeah, like I have a small group of friends that like I made in school that I'm still friends with it to this day, and we were always the type that we'd love to like just riff on ideas and like improv and stuff like that. So we would, you know, it was kind of one of those things where like no topics were taboo, and when we were real young, we didn't really know, like we were never like bad or hateful or anything like that, but I'm sure like we probably said something that was in bad taste or whatever that I probably wouldn't be cool with saying nowadays. But kind of definitely getting older and stuff, I'm still open. Like I used to be more provocative's not the right word, but I used to like to tease people more, and you know, and maybe that was just like before I got too depressed on stuff. But I used to be a lot more teasing and make fun of people, just kind of like, you know, in a kind of fun way, like to their face, like not behind their back or anything mean or hateful like that. But as I got older, I kind of backed off from that a little bit more, and it was a habit like some of my younger brothers also had, and one of them still kind of does it a lot more than I do. But so when I'm with him, I can razz him a lot because he's like still in that mindset, but I don't do it to strangers or people I'm not comfortable with anymore. But but I do also make a point of like, I will have like opinions on stuff, and you know, if I'm not the type that's gonna like badmouth, and I don't gossip about people or anything like that, but like if I'm in a situation where I don't know, there's something I dislike about how something played out, or like if I'm at work and someone did something I didn't like and I'm like talking about it or whatever. Like, I have a general attitude of I only say things that I'm willing to own up to. And anything that I actually say, especially if it like pertains to another person, like I fully expect that other person to like eventually learn about it. So like I I just don't talk. I'm just not a mean-spirited trash talking person, you know? And if I say something about a person and you go and tell that person or whatever, it's like I'm already like mentally prepared. I'm like, no, I said what I said and I'll own up to it, because that's just the rule I live by, you know? It's like I'm not gonna like, if I'm not comfortable with you knowing it, then I shouldn't be saying it, you know? Even if it's me talking to somebody else, even if I am trying to like avoid a conflict or whatever, it's just like, I don't know, it's a personal standard I have of myself. Okay, a little bit in there. All right, let's see. That does remind me of like I think I might have saw it as an Instagram reel, which probably means it's also on like TikTok or YouTube Short or something like that. But it was a millennial guy, and he's like, "You Gen Z thought you would get out of having a normal job by having a face tattoo. Us millennials are open-minded as fuck, so come on down to the Levi's store in full jeans with the rest of us." And it's just like, yeah, I don't care if people have tattoos. I'm down for it, you know? Do whatever. Be your own self. We're not in the boomer culture anymore where all that is frowned upon. Get off of here. Oh wow, that's a that's a lot, Ayla. You definitely got me beat. I know I definitely had a point in time where I was like, I'm not opposed to tattoos, but I didn't know what I wanted. I was like, well, what if I don't know what I would like indefinitely or whatever. And then I was eventually came to the realization, like, it doesn't have to be a specific thing you like forever the same way. Like, you might not always love it the same way, but if it's something that represents like a particular point in time, or if it represents a strong thing for you at some point in your life, then it doesn't really matter, you know? Like, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry, that was Poppy. Poppy's got me beat then. I misread it. Did Ayla say how much you had? Okay. Well, if you got more than one, you still have me beat, and my observation is still valid. I swear I know how to read. I didn't lose it in a motorcycle accident or something like that. Alright. Oh. Jeez. Lots of body modification going on. That's kind of funny, actually, because it seems like the type of crew I would roll with in real life, you know? Even though I'm painfully plain in comparison, but given usually used to having ridden a motorcycle and used to go to a lot of metal shows and stuff, I definitely am big in the alt culture generally as far as aesthetics go. All right, what part do I want to work on next? Let's see. I just have the memories of coolness now, I think is what it is. I was cool once too. Do I have dry brushes on me? Thinking through. It's funny, it's me liking Bulbasaur became one of those things where it became known, so over time, like, I just randomly get Bulbasaur stuff, like, just found this in my drawer. Let's see if I can get it in focus or not, but it's like It's probably not enough to show on there, but it's like a face mask that's just Bulbasaur patterned. And kind of the same thing. This was like for a key, house key or whatever. I guess you just slide on it or whatever. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's see, can I get this drawer open without knocking stuff over? I guess it's not in there. All right. I know, right? Alright, I guess what I can probably do is I'll just start painting up the tails on the horses. That's probably simple enough. Administratum dry brush. I wonder how Bulbasaur would actually do it though. Would he use like razor blade and just cut it into pieces? Or Alright, let's get this loaded on here. Try to wipe a good amount off so I can just dry brush it onto the tail. And I'm gonna dry brush it, so I'm gonna try to catch the highlights with this lighter gray color. Hope this brush is fine for dry brushing. Yeah, it seems okay. Get these tops. And let's get it on this back side. Maybe this underside over here. All right. Man, those rib ones must have been painful to get. I had a buddy who, his first tattoo, actually it might still be his only tattoo, but he got the symbol, nerve symbol from Neon Genesis Evangelion, tattooed on his like pec, and the artist was convinced that he was gonna be in a lot of pain. He's like, oh man, you're gonna cry, it's gonna hurt so bad, but apparently it wasn't that bad. But I would imagine the rib cage is more sensitive. There's not as much like flesh there to go with. Dry brushing the tails. Oh, Achilles tendon, yeah. Wow, ear tattoos. How's the sensitivity for tattoos with the ears? Is that good or bad area to get it, or near there? It's kind of a toss-up, it would seem. A little too wet, I think. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. See if I can clean that up a little bit. I just wanted to capture the outer edges. I didn't want to sop it up with. Yeah, I had a friend who her first tattoo was it was like a World of Warcraft tattoo, and it was a sword that went on her forearm on the inside. So it went from her, like the inner elbow, all the way to her inner wrist. And like those two spots in particular were very sensitive. It was like, oh, that's unfortunate. But okay. I didn't mention it earlier, but I did see, well, I mean, you know, I replied, but I did see on Twitter, you had said you were back, Poppy, and seems like you got a lot of support and a lot of people happy to see you back, which is nice. And kind of the same with you, Ayla. I know you had a couple streams you ended up having to cancel because you weren't feeling well, and I'm glad you have a lot of supportive people who are looking out for you and just happy you are taking care of yourself. It's always good. Oh, hello, Mudkip Ninja. How you doing? I'm glad to hear it. I am very, very slowly getting through these things because I have been kind of taking my time, kind of procrastinating, and, you know, skill issue. But yeah, these are old Warhammer Fantasy minis that I've had for, possibly 2 decades now or something. I've had them for a long, long time and been putting on, like, I've only gotten a few bits of them painted, and I've been meaning to actually get around to doing it, so I've been catching up on them. But I have such a pile of, you know, shame in my closet of Warhammer 40K, a couple board games with minis that I wanted to paint, and then just some one-off like models and stuff too. A lot of things that I'm like, oh, this would be great. I'd love to get back into painting again, and kind of realize that I have trouble finding time to do it unless like I make a stream out of it or something. But how's everything been going for you, Mudkip? I've been kind of crazy with like work and stuff myself, so I haven't been able to like drop by in any streams or anything, but I'm assuming things have been going well for you. This is kind of, this paint's a little bit wet. I think it was too much moisture on either my brush or the paper towel that I'm using, but it's not going to be the end of the world. I'm going to put a wash over this. It's just gonna add some texture. Pretty nice. Yep. Yeah, I'm the same way, D&D minis. I'm fortunate that I run some D&D games. I run a one for my family, like my siblings, and then I have some for some of my friends, but we're all geographically spread apart, so they're all online, so I haven't had the need to paint up the physical minis and stuff. But that being said, I have 3D printers and I have a lot of STLs, and I have I have a lot of minis I even could be printing and painting if I wanted to. Yeah. I don't know if you had caught it, Poppy, but a while back we did a Jackbox collab. It was me and Ayla and Necro Katsuni and Cheerful Zoo, and then towards the end of it, Mudkit dropped by and we had a little bit of fun all together. But they're definitely buds. They've done more stuff together. I would like to do something like it again in the future. Actually, eventually I'd like to find some time and just people to do a couple different streams. Jackbox is fun. Garctic Phone would be good with the right people. And then there's a couple other games that I have in mind that, depending on if I find the right crew, could be another fun thing to do. Because I like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Bit of an older game, but you basically work with a partner to defuse a bomb. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, especially like one of the party games. Yeah. And then for something more ongoing, like I haven't streamed it in a while because I don't know how much people would be interested in, but like I do enjoy playing Minecraft, and I have a Minecraft server that I initially set up just for my like family, but they don't log in all too much, and I'm like, if anybody ever gets interested, I wonder if I could just set it up as like a SMP server just for, other streamers if they ever wanted to just have like a Minecraft server to like build stuff on or something like that. Or in the same vein, Raft is also a fun collaborative game to play multiplayer. Oh my gosh, I could leak some paint on here. Let me... But yeah, the 3D printer definitely addictive and a kind of a hobby unto itself. I have some backlog that I need to get through printing. I was actually printing some stuff for a friend of a friend that I have to ship out to him like a piece of a cosplay thing. More. Okay, I could probably stand to glue this tail in better, I think. That's not in focus, sorry. Keep on forgetting to check. That's what I figured. It's like Minecraft seems good if Minecraft is good if the people who are playing it are like personalities that already have people who like watching, like anyone in like Ninja Sanji and Hololive and stuff, like they already have a built-in audience for it. And then like people who are dedicated to Minecraft have an audience. And then beyond it, I think people would watch a new Minecraft streamer for like speed runs and stuff like that. But I think if you're starting out doing Minecraft, it's hard to bring in new people for it. But yeah, like if you had a crew with it or stuff, it's kind of interesting. And I don't know, I like building stuff. I like just having fun playing around in it. Oops, there's my hand, my arm. All right, dry brushing. Yeah, this is a little too much moisture. It's kind of going into the recesses, which I didn't really care for, but I'm gonna put a wash over the tail anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Doesn't have to be perfect, is still better than nothing. Yeah, it's funny because, like, I mean, obviously I was well aware of Minecraft, and I was actually a fan of, like, I know, I believe, what was it? Mudkip, I believe, when we redirected, redirected to the friend of Ayla's who was playing the Lord of the Rings MMO, and you said you did some of the design stuff on it. So I know, like, if I'm remembering correctly, you're done some of the, like, the narrative stuff. Yeah. So you're already, like, familiar with industry and everything like that. I'm not in the game programming industry, but I'm a programmer myself, and I've kind of been a long fan of just history of both just computer history, programming history, and like game history in general and that stuff. So like I knew a lot about Minecraft, and I just hadn't played it in I just never like got around to playing it until I fell into watching I think I stumbled across is probably just mumbo jumbo videos, honestly, and then started watching Hermitcraft. I'm like, you know what? This seems like a lot of fun. I really want to play it now. And then I started getting into it a lot on my personal time and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I could definitely see myself. I was definitely getting into building a lot of stuff with redstone. Was my jam for a bit, and trying to come up with different just following builds on YouTube and working out different redstone contraptions. Yeah, I might do another stream with what I have so far, but like when we set up the server, I built this kind of like, oh yeah. What's funny is I set up the server, and yeah, redstone is definitely tricky, Poppy. It took me a bit to wrap my head around it, but I had got when I'd set up the server, setting up like server stuff is more my jam. I do a lot of just web programming and mobile programming in general and stuff, and while I don't normally always do like Java and stuff, I'm at least familiar with it. So like, I wrote like, you know, I tried to keep it pretty vanilla, but I got some I wanted to set up like an initial welcome pack that when people first signed onto the server, they would get like a chest with some basic items and stuff. And I found like a plugin that supposedly would do it, but it didn't really work very well. And then I think I figured out how to do it with command blocks, which was kind of funny. But yeah, what I ended up doing was on the server, I built like my base house thing, which is kind of a modern style looking house, like, you know, with quartz and everything. And then I started building up like buildings around it, but they're all like kind of more villagey medieval style, so the styles totally clash. But I started building various like farms and like a villager trading hall and like auto sorter, and I managed to build like an elevator and stuff like that. So a lot of different things going on in it. Got a lot more supply, like a ton of stuff. That I had like a iron farm running pretty early and a slime farm and a honey farm, and I'm like, oh wait, now I have more of those blocks than I know what to do with. But okay, so now we're gonna do an Agrex Earthshade on the tail to kind of give it some depth on here. Nice, very nice. All right. Should I put? I wonder if I should use a different brush for mopping this on. So basically, this wash it's kind of like a watered down paint, and the idea is that it flows into the recesses of the mini, so it kind of gives you shadows in certain areas. So I'm just kind of putting it into these tails so it has these kind of defined features onto there. So I'm going to burn through those. Yeah, it's funny because I was always into, like, when I went to school and college and stuff, like I studied film and animation. Like I was really into animation and motion graphics and stuff like that. But then I kind of taught myself like programming and web programming and stuff. And is that a little much? That might be a little strong on there. It's kind of funny, whenever we had to do presentations, I kind of was always a bit of an overkill because I could do fancier things with like the videos, and if we had to do any sort of web component or like any of that stuff. But like when I finished school, I just ended up falling into programming as my actual job. It was a little more secure financially than finding work in the film field or whatever. But it's kind of nice. It's like I was always into the video games and stuff, obviously, but I kind of knew as far as programming and stuff goes, it's like working as a game programmer in like the major industry. Like a lot of people, it's a dream job, but a lot of people get taken advantage of, and they don't, they underpay them because the companies know that they can just get rid of you and hire someone right out of college who's willing to be exploited and everything. Is unfair. At one point, though, I did, like, when I was a fan of, like, I played World of Warcraft for a long time, and I was a fan of Blizzard in general, and to the point where, like, I applied for their, like, web and mobile department, and they actually, like, I got far enough in the interview process that they flew me out and interviewed me in person, and I got to go to their campus and everything, but I kind of like lost out in the final round. But it turned out that was probably for the best, because, you know, first off, I think I started making more than they would have ever offered me shortly after that, and then within a few years, all that stuff came out about the workplace environment and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like I kind of dodged a bullet with that, but it's kind of hard to see, or difficult to see, but and at that point I was also kind of falling out of enjoying their products anyways, but yeah. Heck you, Blizzard, indeed. Games I like, I don't know. I mean, it's been harder for me to keep up with more modern games, finding time to play stuff and everything. But, you know, back in the day, well, like, let's see, because the ones I do stream are typically the ones I like. You know, I like Minecraft, and I like the Holocure. Holocure is great, and I like all the Tales games. But yeah, growing up, so ironically enough, even though it's much older than me, the first video game system I think I played was the Atari 2600, because, yeah, no worries, man. You have a good one. Take care. I was glad to see you stop by. The Atari 2600, I think, originally came out in the mid to late 70s. And so, but my parents, I think, had it. And so, like, it was around in my house, and I played that first, and then eventually, when we got old enough, they bought a Super Nintendo. So, and then kind of like growing up, we stuck with a lot of Nintendo games. So I always was a fan of, I like the Legend of Zelda series a lot. I liked, you know, Mario Kart. Like, the ones we played the most were probably the Nintendo 64 games and the GameCube games. Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers I played a lot with both my brothers and my friends. That was kind of like a go-to staple. Yeah. But we had like a wide variety, and we were all kind of, we weren't too picky. We weren't very judgy with games. We could be entertained by even the worst games, honestly. I think almost to an extent, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't need to have the greatest games to be entertained by them, but come on now. All right, I'll let all these dry. Oh, that's getting a little tacky. Yeah, she's resting now. So I have these treats to give her, these like bully sticks, which I'm probably getting her a little hyped just by talking about them, honestly, but they're these kind of chews that take her a little bit to get through, so I kind of save them for when I'm streaming. Because she's a big chewer and she'll go through things pretty fast. So I'll give her those at the beginning of a stream, and that'll keep her quiet for a bit. And then it's really a toss-up. She was barking a little bit earlier because I have one dog neighbor. Oh, I have a neighbor somewhere in this apartment complex. I think it's around, I don't know where it is. We haven't located it yet, but like it's in the complex somewhere that whenever this one particular dog barks, my puppy feels the need to like bark back. She's just like, oh my gosh, I need to respond. I need to absolutely bark back to this dog. Other dogs, she seems to ignore just fine. And then, other than that, she'll bark if she wants my attention, like she wants to play or something. But right now, she's laying in front of my door, sleeping. I have been toying with the idea. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I had something, not a ram horn. I had like an antler at one point, I think. It was like a small one though. I might upgrade it to something bigger. I wasn't 100% sure if they like splintered or not or something, and how long her attention would last with it, but it might be worth getting because I'm sure she would love it, honestly. Yeah, needs to know she's here. I'm honestly like been toying with the idea of seeing if there was a way to set up a camera pointed at an area where she would like often lay down or whatever, like just like have a puppy cam or whatever that I could just pop up every so often to show her, because the problem is she doesn't always like stay in one place, and I don't know if it would be worth it to confine her to one area just for the sake of having her on camera, but it might be something worth playing around with, just being able to throw up a puppy cam if she happens to be in view, you know? Would it be a blatant means of trying to attract more viewers? Who knows? Who needs to be a VTuber when you have a corgi, right? Right? Well, to be fair, she would gladly invade my privacy given the chance at any opportunity. She has and she will, actually. That's good to know. Since both of you recommend it, then yeah, right? Yeah, the invasion of privacy, like she'll try to follow me into the bathroom easily, like most dogs do, and like I try to keep her out, and at some point I'm just like, why are you so interested? What do you want to do? And like I let her in, and she'll sometimes cause trouble. She'll try to like go into the trash, or she'll jump into the tub and then like bark because she can't easily get out of the tub because she's so short and stubby. But then she got to a point where she's just like, oh wait, like if I need to use the bathroom and I'm gonna be, you know, in there for like a minute or whatever, she's like, oh, you're a captive audience now. And she'll like get in front of me and just like basically harass me to pet her, and then like try to roll over and insist I pet there while I'm like there just in the trying to use the bathroom. And I'm like, puppy, I don't need this right now. You're all up in my space. Like I to the point where it's just like, and she'll be like, she is now, and I'm like, she's sleeping. If I get up and start headed that direction, she'll like jump up and try to get there, and I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, I'll have to distract you. I'll throw like something tasty your way so I can get a moment to myself, puppy. And it's funny because most of the time, like she'll let me pet her throughout the day, but there's a lot of times where she doesn't want pets. She just wants to play or whatever. But in that instance, she wants me to pet her, and then she'll want me to pet her when we're like laying down for bed at night, and she'll climb up into bed with me and stuff. I have like stairs leading up into my bed, and she'll want me to like pet her, and if I stop petting her, she'll nudge my hand with her nose until I pet her enough that she's done, and then she'll go to like where my feet are and sleep by there or whatever. Yeah, she does have some cat tendencies to her. Alright, so now I'm gonna do a little more dry brushing on those tails just to get the highlights on them, and then that part would be pretty much done. Okay, let's get... Ooh, this is kind of... I need to clean this up. I think this... Let's start in the back. Okay, just trying to highlight this with a little bit of gray again. It's still a little wet, I think. That would be kind of funny if she wasn't, like some sort of art slave driver. How dare you take time with a free piece of art for me? Oh, I know how that is though. I hate having to rush things for people. It's the worst. Yeah, so since the paint is on here, only a little bit of paint on the brush, it just only gets the very raised highlights when I brush over it. I'm not 100% sure yet. Nothing set in stone. I've toyed around with some ideas, but I don't know if I want to commit to lore at the moment. It'd be fun to come up with some, but I don't know. I didn't know how self-indulgent I wanted to be. It's a little weird to talk about it, or like to think about it, but yeah, it really could be. Because I know like a lot of people take the opportunity to make full characters and backstories and stuff, and as far as I seem to be just some dude, and especially considering I do like run D&D games and stuff, there's a lot I could like draw from and everything like that. Yeah, I'm not unfamiliar with lore, but I'm kicking around some ideas. I'm also kind of, I don't think it would happen anytime soon, but like I do want to kind of, I haven't changed any like art stuff, but I've been playing around with the model a little bit, like trying to work on some of the like mouth a little bit, lip syncing and stuff, and eventually like I might try to customize it a bit more, and if I do that, then maybe I'll like fully flesh out everything with it. Oh, nah, I feel that 100%, Poppy. Like that's something I've actually struggled with. Like, I don't know if it's the exact same for you, but like for me personally, I feel like there used to be a point in time where like I could sit down and like let my mind just wander easier and like kind of come up with ideas and like, I don't know, just let it flow. But for a long time now, I haven't been able to do that, and I've been kind of struggling to figure out how to let myself do that, you know? Let's see. And to be fair, there is like different types of creativity. And because like often creativity is just like coming up with a like new perspective or a new novel way of handling something, and like I can have levels of creativity within a certain set of parameters. Like if I'm in the context of like, oh, I'm having a bug I have to deal with in programming, or I need to figure out how to get my YouTuber model to do this or whatever. Like if I'm trying to solve a problem, I can come up with creative solutions, but I have trouble accessing that kind of creative mindset for like coming up with a creative story from scratch, or like what would I want to draw if I started drawing right now, or something like that. It's been really like hard for me to. Oh, that's too much moisture. Like that's the kind of stuff I've been struggling with, and I haven't really found the solution to fix that. And I know for me, a lot of it seems tied to the fact that like I always have like a backlog of stuff to do, like stuff I would need to work on or I've been wanting to catch up on. And whenever I feel like I have a free moment, my brain just goes back to like, oh, I should be doing that, rather than like giving myself a moment's peace to let my mind have a break, you know? I get that back on screen. Sorry about that. I think I burned through this too fast. This is still kind of wet. There was a talk I watched years ago by John Cleese of Monty Python, which, I mean, you know, there's stuff about that guy I don't necessarily 100% like, but the particular talk was interesting because he was talking about the science behind creativity and what they've actually studied. And he was kind of framing it in relation to his experience when he was like writing like sketches and stuff. And he's like, he said, oh, I felt like one of my writing partners was so much more talented than me, but whenever we would write stuff, I kind of felt like my stuff like turned out funnier or better or whatever, and I wasn't sure why. And he kind of realized it was kind of putting it, in his case, it was like he was putting in the reps and like not settling for the simplest answer to the problem. He was trying to look for the best. And he's like, well, there's no way to like, or no way that they know to like force creativity. There is a way to like set up conditions to allow you to be creative. And I don't 100% remember all the details, but the gist of it is that you set aside a period of time somewhere like not too long, probably like a half hour to an hour, and you kind of eliminate all your other distractions aside from the one thing that you want to like focus on. Like, okay, I want to think about writing this comedy sketch or whatever. You set a timer, you get rid of all the other distractions, and then you think about that, and you kind of like ponder it in your head for a while for that period of time. And then when that time's up, you stop, and then you just like go on with your day, whether or not you actually like came up with something. And what kind of happens is that in your head, there's still part of your brain that'll still like crunch on it, even if you stop thinking about it. And it's not uncommon for like an idea or an answer or something to come to you later on when you're doing something completely unrelated. And it's kind of best for the process that like you take the time to like focus and think about it, but then you stop at some point and you don't burn yourself out and go crazy with it. And ironically, like that kind of stuff, I've seen that in like with like programming and stuff with that. Like I'll see it pop up in like people's blogs and stuff. They talk about, oh, I was working on a bug for hours and I couldn't figure out, and I got fed up, and I went and I like took a walk, or I got some coffee, or I took a shower, and then all of a sudden it came to me, and it's like, or you go to sleep and the next morning it makes sense. And it's like there's a lot of instances of like you focus on something for a bit and then making sure you take a break and you do something else, and your brain during your leisure time still kind of puts those connections together. It was very interesting, and it's kind of neat, but I haven't, still knowing all that, it's still hard to like get your life in control in a way to give you the time to do that, you know, because there's still so many things you have to take care of in your day-to-day life that you don't always have the opportunity to sit down and do things like that. Let's see, get this in focus. There's a little bit too much in there. All right. But maybe that's just me pretending to know things. Who knows? I don't trust myself. Okay. Oh man. That's fair. Multitasking will do that to you. That being said, let's see, I got the bodies, I got the tails. I think I'll need to do like the leathers and the little metal parts, but I think I might wrap this up here for tonight and try to just catch up on the other things I need to take care of. But I'll probably bring the painting streams back, since I was making no progress on them without the painting stream. So even if you know, they're not the most exciting content, it's still productive for me to do it. So I might as well, you know, make some progress in these and finally get them done. We'll see. So anyways, I appreciate everybody stopping by, and it's nice getting to chat and catch up with everybody. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad I could, you know, see familiar names, Ayla and Poppy, and being able to catch up and share ideas about the world and just chill and relax. It's been nice. So, yep. I'll try to be on top of streaming again. I might add an extra day or move a day around next week. So I'll try to post up my schedule early enough that I can figure everything out. But yeah, sounds good. I hope you all have a good night and take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. Thank you. Take care. Bye.